This video is sponsored by my favorite website creator, Squarespace, the best place to go when you want to get a domain or create a gorgeous website or an online store. So this is our final week in this temporary rental. So by the time this video goes up, David and I will be back in our flat. Can you believe it? In less than a week from today, we'll pack up and go home after 10 weeks in this rental, all in all. Still, isn't it just mad that you can leave a flat for 10 weeks and in that short time, you can just change it completely from top to bottom? Of course, we've gone over to the apartment now and then to see the progress over these 10 weeks. And every time something big has happened. So a whole bunch of you have asked for an update. I will, of course, make videos to show you the finished result as all of the rooms get completely done, because even though we're moving back, it won't be like 100% done yet. Like, we won't have a kitchen countertop and all the windows will need to be changed. But this is just a little update on how the rooms are coming along so far and the changes that we've made, and also what we're thinking in terms of like decor and which interior pieces we want to invest in once we have moved back home. And yeah, shocker, it's almost exclusively vintage stuff that we want to buy because, you know, affordable plus sustainable plus like one-off uniqueness, what's not to love? Should we start in the kitchen dining area? Because this would probably be the most like changed room compared to how it was before. So we've taken out all of the floors and we've taken out the whole kitchen and that ugly little step stair leading up to the balcony. Do you remember? That was there before. So now there's a whole new kitchen from Reform, you know, the Danish brand that I told you about who we're working with. And also, they're my favorite ever kitchen brand, so we're so lucky to be working with them. Since we don't have a countertop yet, the kitchen is completely covered up now, so I will have to show you the finished result later. But do you remember in the video I made ages ago, back from last summer, when I talked about our renovation plans? So I show you this kitchen from Reform and these like terrazzo style porcelain tiles from Vitra. And I said that this is like my favorite color combo. And guess what? We have stuck to that idea and the floors will be in this like terrazzo finish. So it was like a guess that we made based on the colors that they would be epic together, solely based on photos that we have seen online. So now when the tiles have been delivered and the kitchen is installed, we can see that yes, we were right. It is an epic color combo. Since the countertop hasn't been delivered yet, we don't know how that will match in with everything together, but we're gone with like a gorgeous warm beige laminate in like a super thin finish. I think it's like just 12 millimeter thick or something. So as for backsplash, I was actually shocked myself because I made a decision to be a little bit weird and go for a material that I never would have guessed that I would use. So I got the idea from my very stylish friend from Berlin, Storm West, because she has these like simple white tiles as backsplash instead of going for like a slab of the same material as the countertop. So we're going to use the same kind of small square white tiles, and they're not up yet, so I can't show you, but we went for glossy instead of matte. So I think that they will just reflect the light in there brilliantly because it will be like evening sun coming in through the kitchen windows. Another thing I have to show you is the update on the wall-to-wall staircase / seating area in front of the balcony doors. So do you remember when I made the video where we asked 5 designers on Fiverr to come up with ideas for how like this huge chunky thing would look? Well, it turned out that it was just better to design it ourselves and let our builder figure out how to make it happen practically. So the whole thing will be covered in the same tiles as the floor, but so far we only have like the skeleton structure to show you in wood. So as you can see, it is rather large. Like, I can really see us sitting there having like our Saturday morning coffee and the New Yorker crossword puzzle, because from this side of the room, the balcony, we will have morning sun, or like all day sun actually, more or less. So in the seating area, there's also like actually hidden storage because these will be like pull out huge drawers on both sides of the stairs. Oh, and the balcony doors will be changed to these like wooden French style doors. So I'm picturing these like crisscrossy sun patterns on the floor all day. Can you imagine anything more romantic? Anyway, one bad thing is that the balcony doors actually open inwards. So we had planned to use the seating area as a place for decor and plants and things, but I'm not sure how that's going to work since we need to be able to like open the doors fully. Anyway, that's a tiny complaint because I'm so happy with how this whole area is turning out. As for decor in the kitchen dining area, we will mostly use furniture that we already have, I think. So our dining table is huge, so we're not sure if it will feel too big in here, but otherwise we're quite solid. So the one thing that I really want to ask your advice on though is like, if we want one big plant in here, like huge and chunky, which species should we go for? It needs to be easy to care for because David and I, we like kill almost every plant that we look at. Another thing that we need in all of the rooms are ceiling lights, because holy moly, you guys, we now have ceiling roses. So we have 2 big ones in the kitchen dining room and 4 small ones, 2 in the living room, 1 in my study and 1 in the hallway. So I will show you better once they have the right finish. But I mean, I'm like the biggest hater of ceiling lights, you know that, but what I want is like unusual, beautiful, vintage pendants that will be there mostly for like decor and will hardly ever be turned on. And obviously we're putting in dimmer light switches in all of the rooms, so the intensity of the light will be adjustable anyway. But it will take some time finding these vintage lights, of course. So in the meantime, we will just put in like these warm, nice looking light bulbs in every room and then switch them out as we go along. You know, we're sleeping in the tiny little box room, which fits our bed, 2 small nightstands, and nothing else. So the plan is to like move our bedroom upstairs once we fix up the loft. But after these 10 weeks of like normal renovation, I'm not sure how we'll be able to like handle a full-on loft extension. Oh man, the stress, you guys, it has been so brutal. You know, when you hear about these like renovations that go on for years, I honestly don't know how people do it. So we're clocking 9 weeks today and we have a few more to go, and I'm so over it. I can't even tell you. Like, anyway, the only real changes that we're doing in the bedroom is like putting a new floor, which is actually an old floor, because we have bought this like 100 or 200-year-old reclaimed wood floor to put in all of the rooms except for the kitchen and bathroom. It has like stains and nail holes and the color is all over the place, and also it has like goddamn soul. Like, how many different feet have walked on this floor? I don't know. It gives me like actual chills to think about that stuff, because, you know, I told you before that this flat is like late Victorian or like early Edwardian, and the previous owners had done a terrible 90s style renovation, completely ruining the charm of the place. So our job has been to restore it to its former glory and make it feel like an old flat again, because it is an old flat, so it deserves the Victorian style charm. Besides new floors, the only other thing we will do in the bedroom is putting up like a big mirror to make it feel like the room is bigger than its tiny size. And that's it. Another room that we'll go through like a complete switcheroo is the bathroom. Actually, this room will be even a bigger change than the kitchen. And again, we're using the terrazzo style porcelain tiles from Vitra for the floors and for the walls. And the whole bathroom is from Vitra, who we are so lucky to work with, because they are my favorite bathroom brand. And like, somehow I managed to get both my dream kitchen and my #1 dream bathroom. All the bathroom stuff has been delivered, but it's not unpacked yet, so we haven't even seen them yet. So I'm too bloody curious by now. Well, except for the tiles, which are now on the walls and the floor. We have seen them and they're great. So we have thrown out the bathtub to make room for a toilet in here, because David and I, we never use the bathtub anyway. We're total showerers, we're not bathers. So we're getting most of the decor and hardware from Vitra. But one thing I'm on the lookout for in here is a good waste basket to go with like the 60s modernist style in the Vitra bathroom. So I wanted to look a bit like spaceship-esque. So we used to have this one from Zone Denmark, which I really like the shape of, but after a while it started getting like discolored in a way that didn't come off. So we decided to find a new one instead. If you have any suggestions of like really cool looking waste baskets, that's a weird sentence, isn't it? Anyway, let me know. So the reason that we have moved the toilet in here is because it used to be in this tiny little mini room without even a sink. So you would be all the way over in the other end of the flat, and then you had to walk to the bathroom to wash your hands. Seriously, so stupid. So what are we using the old toilet room for, you're asking? Listen to this. David and I will officially be the first 2 people in the history of London to have a utility room. That's right, a washer dryer plus a wall hung like clothes horse. So the pinnacle of luxury is this. We will never again have to hang our laundry out in the flat. I will never again have to watch wet clothes dry. My t-shirts and knickers will dry all by themselves behind the closed doors. Isn't that the dream? I do realize that this is like completely unreasonable, but of all the things that we're changing with this flat, not having to keep our wet clothes out in the flat to dry is one of my top top favorite things. David will actually be working by the dining table because he likes the, hustle and bustle of being in the middle of things. I, on the other hand, will, for the first time in my life, have, I can't believe that I'm actually saying this, my own study. I'm calling it the writer's room. It's a medium-sized bedroom that we have connected to the living room by actually opening up a huge opening in the wall to put in double doors. So again, we have really tried to respect the old age of the building. She is a grandma after all, and you don't put a Primark crop top on your favorite grandma. You put vintage Givenchy on your favorite grandma. Am I right? So we have found these massive antique double doors that were in pretty bad shape. And the thing is buying vintage Victorian double doors and paying our builder to restore them and fix all the little nags and holes and then paint them and find the perfect door handles and finger plates for them. You might think that that's a huge expense, and don't get me wrong, it definitely wasn't cheap, but very early on when planning the renovation, we looked at buying new double doors in this size, and the quotes we got were double or even triple the price of these absolutely gorgeous, 150-year-old doors or however old they are. So my writer's room will be connected to the living room, and I think that I would probably place my desk in the middle of the room with me facing into the living room so that will be my view when, I'm writing my next novel. Speaking of novels, there is only a few more days to enter the pre-order giveaway thing I told you about. So if you're in the UK and you order my book Okaydays now, I will send you a signed postcard as a memento and a little thank you. So details are in the description. And a huge thank you to everyone who already pre-ordered. My publishers told me that they're super happy with all the orders coming in already. And it means so much to me that you want to support me this early on and that you want to read my sexy, spiky little London love story. So thank you. In my study, we have also asked our builder to put in wardrobes painted in the same color as the walls. And you guys, he has built a bookshelf in one of our chimney stock nooks. So I will finally have a bookshelf. Can you imagine? In the other chimney stock nook by the window, I want to create a reading corner. So I will want to find a high back vintage reading chair and a small coffee table next to it. For now, I think I will use one of our 2 modules in our Fetsack sofa. I'm not sure if it will be too big, but I'm hoping that I will be able to fit that and a small table nicely in the corner. Can you imagine all the books that I will read in there from now? I wonder how many years that I will have this room as, for reading and writing and working and do all this stuff. It's weird to think about. All right, should we talk about furniture? So in my writer's room, I need to get a new desk and probably a new office chair that doesn't look like an office chair. So my dream desk would be in a material called burr alder, which is a weird growth or deformation on an alder tree. So it has this weird and beautiful pattern that's used quite a lot traditionally in Sweden. And the alder wood is orangey in its color, so it's not so dark. The thing is, I don't think I would ever be able to find a desk like this in the UK, and very rarely is this material used for desks anyway, even in Sweden. So it's more often used for round tabletops. I will try though, because I think it's epic, but I might need to settle for a classic Danish teak desk. You know, the ones in a more redder wood that you can find dirt cheap in every Scandinavian flea market. They are not cheap here though, so I would probably go to Denmark to find me one. For the living room, I really think it would suit a space to have a curved sofa. You know that we have the gorgeous innovation sofa and 2 day beds from them, and they are so timeless and nice, but I think that the sofa might be too bulky in this space. So we might do one of the day beds in here and a curved vintage sofa. My all-time favorite sofa is this vintage Vladimir Kagan sofa, but it's 30,000 pounds, so yeah, that's not gonna happen. But I'm hoping to find a similar style sofa with the curved back and the slim legs and then that opening in the backrest. We're not in a rush, so we have all the furniture we need already. So I would rather take my time until I stumble on a vintage beauty that I just love. And also I'm thinking that I want to exchange our tables for a vintage piece. What are you thinking in here? Should we do wood, glass, or metal, or stone? So I'm leaning towards wood, but I think I will just keep an open mind until I stumble on one in a flea market and just instantly fall in love at first sight. As for inspiration, when it comes to finding vintage decor pieces and how to figure out what I like and what I want, I love looking at Swedish secondhand shops reels on Insta. just like them filming their shops and showing how they use different decor pieces and furniture. I get so many ideas from there. And it's like meditative as hell as well, just like looking at all these like beautifully restored vintage pieces. So my two favorite ones are probably GBG Deco and Vintage Byron. So recommend, go check them out. Where do you go for interior inspiration? I mean, I know a lot of people use Pinterest for this, but I'm never on there ever. So for me, it's definitely Insta. Is there another place for it? Like, is there a specific place for interiors? But please help me out with those two things, will you? Which huge chunky plant that we should get for the seating area by the balcony, and if you've seen any like spacey, cool Bond villain style bathroom waste baskets. You always have such great taste, so please help a girl out. Because I am seriously so excited now. Just one more week and then we are back in the flat. So right now when you're watching, David and I will like be unpacking boxes and drinking champagne and eating takeaway Chinese food on the floor. How romantic. So wish us luck, give us your support, and I will show you more of the progress as we go along. Oh, and don't forget, if you want a signed postcard by me to go with your first edition of OK Days, now is the time to pre-order, only a few days left. I'll put all the details in the description for you. Let me know if you enjoy the interior design themed videos. Do you want me to make more of them and like home tour videos of all of the different rooms as they get completely finished? Tell me if so and give me a little like, won't you? And subscribe, of course, if you haven't yet. Do you want to create a beautiful site and maybe start your own blog? If so, you should definitely do it with Squarespace. They have great blogging tools to share your stories, photos and videos to make it easy to reach your audience. You can also auto-post your content to Twitter, Facebook or Tumblr, and simply schedule your posts for them to be properly tagged, and the descriptions and titles will show up correctly. You can of course add your social media accounts to your site so that it's easy for your readers to find you everywhere. Squarespace also have great traffic analytics so that you can see how many people are visiting your site and how long they're staying for and where they're coming from and what they're interested in, like interior design, DIY, or maybe books, for example. So what are you waiting for, guys? Go get your free trial today at squarespace.com, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/JennyMustard to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Thank you so much for watching today, guys. This was so much fun. I can't wait to move back in. See you soon. Puss puss.